Welcome back to another episode of the Breakup Diet. This is Yaz and Ilms. Today we are joined by who I would say is like the Princess Diana of Love is Blind. Season 2, UK, Ashleigh Berry. Come check into this flight.
Upper class, please.
First flight only.
Oh my god.
With cake.
With cake on demand and tea. I love that.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for checking me in.
Oh my, wow.
It was so smooth.
Yeah, so the boarding process was easy, right?
But the ride's going to be bumpy. No, I'm joking.
Oh
no, it won't be.
Yeah.
It won't be.
Hang on, let's stop this for a sec.
Subscribe and follow the Breakup Diet. You don't want to miss another episode.
How are you? What's been going on?
my
Your
God.
life, like, you've gone from, I guess, anonymous,
Yeah.
like, to everyone knowing you.
Yeah. How is that?
It's been turbulent. It's been bumpy. I found kind of watching it back, having to do the reunion, then kind of transitioning back into like the real world, if you like, and back to my day job. It's been tough. It has, I'm not going to lie. You know, I think you gain a part of closure when you do the show and you kind of know it's over with him. And, you know, we shut that door and I kind of tried to rebuild myself. But then you film the reunion and then you watch yourself and everyone else has an opinion on it now. And that's been really hard, kind of processing that trauma again of the breakup and how I was feeling and who I am now. So it's been a real place of like self-discovery the last couple of months since the reunion and just really focusing on healing, you know, me.
Let's switch it up.
We've been holding back way too much. Welcome to the Breakup Diet. I think it must be hard, actually. I've never thought about that. When you have, like, you film it, you kind of put it in a box, put it away.
You can't talk about it either, Yaz, because obviously we've signed NDAs. So when we broke up, like, obviously my family knew because they were part of the show. That was it.
Oh my gosh.
So then you tell your friends and family because it's on the screen, and then you then relive that because you have to talk to people. They're like, well, what happened? You know, they want to know more than just the show. So yeah, you're right, Yaz.
Yeah, you have to like fully go back into it, even though
Fully.
you might just be coming out and just be feeling good again almost. And like,
You're on that like cliff edge, like on the roller coaster, you're like, I'm about to go down the drop. And you're like, oh no, yeah, I've got to really, think about this and kind of stop in that roller coaster again and process it again. Yeah.
how long ago was the reunion now?
That was filmed in August time.
That's so recent.
Yeah.
That's legit just like 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago. And obviously, thanks so much for having me on this week. But this week, a year ago, I got married to Billy. And I think I've actually really struggled emotionally. Kind of, that was my real wedding day. And I hoped it would be the only wedding day I had. It was super amazing. And at the time, it was the best day of my life. So I've been kind of struggling with like that emotional side the last few weeks as well. Wow, what a year.
Because often we talk about like stress or trauma being stuck in the body. So obviously you know that it was your wedding day like a year ago.
Did you have any gut feel?
Like, was your mood just like a massive switch over the last few weeks or like 2 weeks when you might not have realized at that exact moment, but now you're like, oh, that's because, my wedding was like...
Yeah, perhaps that's been it, girls, because I've actually felt really low the last couple of weeks. And then when I actually paused and thought, this time last year, I had that nervous wedding feel like you do, preempting, you know, the biggest day of your life, the biggest commitment you're going to make in your life. Yeah, I feel like if I actually listened to that, my body was telling me, wow, you were going through a lot this time last year. And be kind to yourself, you know.
God.
What's been like your self-discovery journey since?
Gosh, huge, transformative.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest learnings I've had since the breakup is learning to be comfortable with myself. And I think when we go into relationships, however long they may be, you can sometimes just give all of you and all of your time. And that's what I did to Billy. And actually, when you break up, you're like, I was like, whoa, what's my purpose now? Who am I? I actually kind of started like doing loads of new hobbies because I was like trying to find myself again. And I've really found actually a purpose in who I'm meant to be, and like being comfortable just being on my own, like in my own space with my soul, with all of my flaws, with all of my great things I bring to life. Like I've just tried to understand Ashleigh a bit better and understand what Ashleigh needs. And I think saying no, you talked about that in one of your podcasts. I've really learned the power of saying no, because that's not normally what I would say. I wouldn't really want to let people down. I'm a bit of a people pleaser in the past.
Yeah.
And being finally comfortable with myself. Like, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, so
That
great.
is so beautiful, because at the end of the day, like, you only have yourself. Like, you only have yourself to protect, look after, like, nurture. And I feel like if we practice kindness to ourselves, we can be so much better as people, as friends, as partners to the people around us.
Exactly. Yeah. Self-love is the most important love I think we need to all start with. And it's hard sometimes to
That
find
should
that.
be on the top of the list, not a relationship with a man. The first form of love should be self-love.
Within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because lots of people neglect self-love and find it within somebody else.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
be fair, I probably have done that.
Oh, we all have.
We all have.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But the moment you do love yourself, I think people do walk in that are special.
Yeah.
The best people who are more aligned to you. I mean, that's how
Yeah.
we all found each other. Like, the second you choose yourself, you find your people. Like,
Yeah.
I found you.
Yeah.
And like, it's like,
Almost love story again.
Three love stories here. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
In this case, love isn't blind. Because
Love
Oma
isn't.
scouted. It was like,
yeah.
Yeah, I think you shine brighter as well when you love yourself, and you're more visible to people, and people are like, oh my God, she's so confident in that, and she really truly believes in herself. And I think that's really attractive.
I think you
And
came
you're-
across
sorry.
like that in
Yeah.
the show, though.
Do you?
I think you really did. Like when
I have
watched
never
it,
seen as genuine of a person on reality TV than you. Seriously.
Yeah,
There
you-
is no one like you that I could
Nice.
even like categorize you
Really?
with. Like, you are on your own league, and I mean it in the best way possible. Like, you are going to like
Yeah, you were
create
so
some cool
positive,
things. Yeah.
so positive and up, like lifting to watch. Like you could tell that you were yourself. Didn't seem like it was for a camera, or didn't seem like
No.
you were there to
Get
like,
brand deals or something
No.
like
or
that.
even
like-
find like you were there because you wanted to find love, obviously, but it was more like you weren't like desperate for it either.
No.
Sometimes you feel like people are like desperate, like
forcing it,
they'll
yeah.
like try to make it just because like they're on a show, whereas like you didn't feel like that at all.
Like, you felt a genuine connection, and
Yeah.
we saw it. Like, that
Yeah.
connection was real.
So real. And I think when you asked me, girls, like earlier on, inviting me on the show and talking about kind of why I went on the show, I think that truly came out in my storyline, if you like, because the reason I went on the show was actually because of a friend of mine, which is hilarious. She got approached to go on the show, and she was like, actually, I'm not single, but I have a really cool friend that would probably do well on the show, so I'm going to put her up for it. So she DM'd me and was like, look, Ashleigh, maybe you should think about this, because I was so unlucky in love, and I thought, hey, let me just like deep dive into like what this experiment is about. And then when I realized like the whole concept around love being blind, and actually stripping away social pressures, your phone going off every 10 minutes with an email on Instagram, like, or your friends, you know, wanting to meet up with you, or your parents, or whoever it is in your life kind of forcing you to have these relationships, I was like, yeah, remove it, take it away, give me a wall, give me someone's voice, and let me actually force me to be vulnerable, and force me to open up to someone who is actually going to be able to understand Ashleigh, not the outer surface of Ashleigh, not my job, not how I dress or how I sit, my body language. That's not what I want people to fall in love with. I wanted people to fall in love with who I am. And that experiment was right for me at that time, because I was ready to do all of that. And as you've seen, I just led with my heart, and I was really in it for the intention of, you know, exploring, is love blind?
Were you not ever scared though? That's one thing that I would be scared, because obviously you know how it is blind and you're going in with all the right intention, but like, what if,
I know.
you know, you're listening to your head, but sometimes your head makes bad decisions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, I know I shouldn't do that, but I still do it. So I'd be thinking that, doing this. I don't know.
It's the weirdest concept, guys, because like you have nothing else to think about but love. LOVE, 4 letters. That is it. Actually, it forces you to kind of think head to toe with your heart, with your gut, just by listening to someone's tone or the type of language they are using or the pauses they make, just how that makes you feel was what I was falling in love with.
Crazy.
And it sounds crazy. Like, and I don't like think everyone wants to buy into that, and that's cool. But like for me, that experiment was magical.
I think it's amazing. I just don't think I would be second guessing myself every 2 seconds. I'd be like, I've got a stomach pain. No,
No.
My body's telling me something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you listen to all of that. And I think if I did feel those like worrying red flags, which I did with some of the guys I dated, and you didn't get a chance to see all of that.
Wait, I have a question with the pod. So after you go on the date, if you don't want to see them again, you just say like, I don't want to see that guy again?
Yeah, basically you kind of just don't invite them to another date, and they might not like you either, so you might not see them ever again. Like I dated some guys on day one that I didn't ever see again. So but the guys that you do date and you want to see again, you kind of put them forward to the show, and they're like, okay, well, we'll see what they think of you, and then it happens or it doesn't.
So that's why when you walk in the room you're like, oh, who is it?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh
Yeah.
okay. So you don't know at
No.
all. That's so weird, actually. Like, you can't see them already, and then they're still
And then
like,
you don't know who's behind.
You don't know who's behind, and then you're like, oh my God, I recognise that voice. Don't get this name wrong. Don't get this name wrong. Hi, Billy.
That would be my thing. Like, I would be like, hi, you.
Hey, you fella.
I think that's why I said knock, knock. And I was trying to get out more of them. Like, who's there? And I was like, oh, he spoke more than just hi. You know, I was trying to like lean into who this was. But obviously Billy had an accent. So that was quite a easy way of me finding out who he was.
When you guys were at the altar, did you ever have a moment where you were like second guessing yourself or anything? Or you were at that time when you said yes, you were like, no, this is it?
No, I totally married him for love. And I went fully in for that. And so no, I had no doubts. I think when you watch it back and you see his face and the music and the way it's kind of put together, it looks like he has a lot of doubts as well. But when I stood at the altar, I looked in his eyes, and his eyes were full of love. And he was kind of like nodding as well, like to me, like, this is going to be okay. Like without saying that. That's how I felt in that moment. It was so magical. And I was like, this is going to be okay. Like whatever his decision was going to be, it would have been heartbreaking if it was a no. But I was hopeful that, you know what?
You were going to be a team
We were
regardless.
going to be a team regardless.
Yeah.
And no one goes into a marriage kind of perfect.
No.
I wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect. But what we had was foundations. And that was enough for me to go, do you know what? I want to build on this. And actually, if we could conquer his doubts about my job or whatever, you know, the bumps in the road that everyone has in a relationship, to be able to come through those events makes you a stronger team, a stronger married couple, and a stronger future.
Something about like fights and like up and downs, like, yeah, they're not nice to have, but I actually think that you understand the other person so much more and how they cope with situations, and you learn.
And
Like,
you
even
grow together.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. You want to grow together.
Totally.
That's your partner. It's a partnership.
Totally.
and life isn't always fun.
No.
So like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you
Like
need
we
to know.
argue with our parents and
Yeah.
we move from that.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
what we were really good at, Billy and I actually, was communicating. You saw throughout our journey that as soon as something was an issue, we were like, should we talk about that? And we just talk about it. And that was something like gold dust to me in a relationship. I've never been with a partner that's gone, whoa, Ash, like, are you okay today? Should we just talk that through? And so everything we came up against, I felt like I didn't have to hold back like I normally did in relationships. He gave me that space to be really me. And I thought, if we can go into a marriage like that, we can get through anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because that's like the foundation of a good marriage, like strong communication
Being
and
honest
teamwork.
and teamwork.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
So with your job being a flight attendant, you were obviously so passionate about it, and you said that in the series you said that you started working from like a young age and you're always a provider. So like obviously your job is like a massive part of your identity. Did you ever have a moment in this relationship, because there was like a lot of stress put on it, like he was putting a lot of pressure on you, maybe not stress is the right word, but pressure of like that being a problem? Did you ever find yourself like thinking, oh, maybe I should stop flying for a bit to try to make it work?
Absolutely not. Like, I've always been a career-driven woman, as you guys have seen. From a young age, you know, yeah, you're exactly right. I was always the carer, the provider, and I love that role. Like, I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I started working doing the paper round at like 12 years old, you know, and like getting pocket money and going like, yes, I can save up for something now. I've never relied on a man or anyone actually in my life to pay for things. You know, it's always come from me. When there was this hiccup about the job, it was just like a change of direction in our conversation, I'd say. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I was never going to quit my career at all for a man. Like, I love what I do. However, if we were to like fast forward and get married and have children, it would be hard to fly full time with a family of 3 or even 1. So I was open to exploring the ideas of taking a grounded role within the same company, but to support our marriage and to support him and to support what I wanted. So yeah, it wasn't all about, oh yes, I'm going to bow down to him and like, you can have all of me. Absolutely not. Like, there were going to be boundaries in place, but I was all in with this guy. And actually, if it was going to strengthen our relationship and us as a family in the future, I would have explored another role.
Did he ever offer to do the same thing with his job? Like, as in, sorry, I know that's a really salty question to ask, but because his army going away for 3 months, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, and we'll cut it. But going away for the 3 months, that's very similar to like a flight, not exactly the same, but like you also travel.
He feel travels. Like it's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so did he ever offer to like
compromise on his
to
end?
maybe, I don't know how the army works, but like in some sort of other role that would fit you guys?
Like you said, like another grounded
Exactly.
role.
Yeah.
I think the difference was like, I didn't have an issue with his career. Like, I was so proud of his career. Like, that was a huge selling point for me, that he was in the military. I'd been an army cadet. I really have a lot of love for that community and that organisation. So for me, I was like, I'm ready and willing for you to go away for 3 months, because I appreciate that I will also have to fly. And then I'll be here waiting for you and we'll have a family at some point. I loved what he did and I was ready to kind of accept him for his career. And if that meant him traveling for a bit, I'd accept it. I guess in the future, I would have hoped that he would have definitely gone into, I don't know, a recruitment role or whatever it is within the army to kind of support me as well.
I don't get why it would be such a big thing. Well, you have to go away for a bit.
Yeah.
And then if you love each other and they love their role, you want them to do it. You want them to be passionate and love what they do, because then when you're together it's like really special too.
I think like distance does make the heart grow fonder. Don't get me wrong, it's hard when you're flying at different time zones and you try and FaceTime and they're probably in bed, but like I think if you've got enough love there, then it can work. Then anything is possible. There's a lot of people out there living in different countries, different sides of the world that are married, and then they move in eventually after years apart and it works. So I'm in an industry where I have to be very adaptable day to day because of just what I'm up against. And I think that filters into my love life as well. And I'm a very adaptable, resilient person. As long as the love was there, you can conquer anything.
You say that you're very adaptable and you give and you give and you give. When you give and you give and you give and you don't get somebody that gives like the same energy to you back, how do you deal with that? I do the same thing. Like as in I'll give to my friends, I'll give to a relationship. And when you would do so much for somebody else and they don't even give you something back or like 10% back,
it's such a kick in the stomach. And I've noticed this pattern among women. We are such generous nurturers. We're so willing to compromise. We're so willing to make everything work. How is it that the opposite gender can't? I've dealt with that with my marriage. You've dealt with that with your relationship and your marriage too. Like, how is it that they can't fill our cups like we fill theirs?
I don't think it's necessarily just,
Gender.
Just gender. Like, I think it's like some people just can't give it back.
But I do think it is a womanly trait to be better nurturers. Yeah.
For me, this is where I've learned a lot about
boundaries,
self-love, self-respect. Billy did give a lot. Like, although you didn't see that, there was a lot of love there. Yeah. And I wouldn't have married someone who wasn't giving me what I needed and deserved. I think coming out of the show and looking forward to the next relationship I have, I'm very much aware that time is my love language and that I don't have a lot of time. The time I have, I want to make sure it's given to the right person and myself. Enough of that needs to be for me now because I never used to do that. And I want that back from someone. I want someone's undenying, is that the word? Undenying attention? And
Undivided.
Undivided.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want someone's undivided attention because that's what I deserve.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we deserve. I think I have done a lot of discovery on what happens when you give and they don't. And listening to that person and thinking, okay, why are they not giving? Is it an off day? Or actually, are they just very into themselves and can they not give? Some people can't. Some people can't give you what you need and deserve. And I think it just comes down to actually thinking, okay, what is good for Ashleigh? Yeah, not being a fixer is something I've really learned. And it's not down to you to always do that. Like, they need to do that self-work.
Yeah.
That is such a powerful statement because at the end of the day, you can't control other people's actions, and that's actually fine. Because imagine being responsible for how other people are.
Yeah.
Can't bring a horse to water and make it drink.
Make
Yeah.
a drink.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So on the breakup diet, we always talk about, you know, our versions of closure because it's different from like people to people. What was closure like to you?
And have you got it?
I went on to the reunion hoping that I would gain fully closure from this marriage relationship and experiment. But in all honesty, I kind of knew deep down as well, I had a gut feeling that I wasn't going to gain that. The way it kind of planned out, as you all saw, I don't think I got that from him. However, I got that from myself. Or I wouldn't say I got total closure from myself, but I definitely got the start of closure from myself from that reunion and from actually speaking my piece. Like, I actually said out loud what Ashleigh deserves and what Ashleigh needs and wants. And to do that in front of people I didn't know, influencers, production, couples that were obviously happily in love and some obviously not, it was a really dynamic environment to be in. And I just found this inner strength to kind of start that closure piece. And I was really proud of myself for that whole speech and reunion.
It's so powerful actually speaking stuff out. Like, you can talk about a breakup in your head so many times and what went wrong. And then when somebody like a friend or a family member would ask you and you say it out loud, the words, then you just like break down a lot of the time.
Totally. I actually voice note a lot at the moment because that gives me a bit of time. Yeah. It's time that I'm actually focusing on Ashleigh and not anyone else. And when I listen back, and I was actually listening back on the train to you guys this morning, and I was like, wow, like you hear your voice, your tone, where your voice cracks, how emotional you are. And I was super emotional back in August. And that journey I've been on is huge. And now I can voice note and look at, you know, the healing part and the closure part. And I'm every day gaining that bit more closure to this.
So when you say you voice note, do you just mean on your phone you have like
the sound recording app?
You know, like the sound recording app that we all have downloaded?
Yeah.
I just started to like use it. I'm not gonna lie, I've never used it actually at all. Maybe at work once, I'm like practicing my briefing. How do I sound? But like I started using it for more this kind of closure, healing, self-discovery piece. And I just talk on my way to work. How is Ashleigh feeling today? You know, what can I see? What can I smell? How does my body feel? And then when I felt strong enough, I'd open that voice note and go, oh my God, so last week I was feeling that. But let me voice note this week. And there'll be sometimes a huge difference, sometimes not a difference, sometimes still feeling in the mud.
This is such a powerful exercise. And I think this is so much more powerful than journaling because you can see the changes between your tones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so good. But no, we've never heard that before.
No, we always like recommend like journal, guys.
Yeah. I think it's quite easy to like not open the voice notes. And I'll be honest, for a while I didn't want to open the voice because it's like
it's painful to relive it again. And you've relived so much in the last 6 weeks.
Watching myself fall in love. It was painful, like it being out there and actually having voices now on my journey. So, but this is just you and your voice that you're hearing, and this is all that matters. And we go back to that self-love piece. Like, how is Ashleigh's soul feeling? How is your soul feeling? And I think you can really get that from your voice. And you know, you're not looking at yourself. You don't cringe at like, it's not like it's a video either where you're like, oh God, like, how do I look today? My hair is really, but whatever. No, it's just hearing you.
Do you think you picked this up from the pod? Because it sounds like the pod, but it's like a solo pod base.
Yeah, but it might be because like, there's, like we said, there's no outer layer to anything. It's just your voice. And Yeah, you fall
Oh
in love
my-
with someone's voice, but I'm now kind of loving my own. Isn't that
Oh,
that's kind of
self-love.
transformative, girl?
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
so powerful. I think at the end of the day, like, the only person you needed in that pod was you.
Oh.
So love is blind because you fell in love with yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. I have like goosebumps,
Yeah, same,
seriously.
same.
Like that's and the power of conversation, right? No matter who that's with, and I guess we're focusing on ourselves. Like the power of actually chatting to who you are. You don't need to get that from someone. You don't need those probing questions always from someone else. Just ask yourself that, and then once you understand yourself, you can then kind of invite others into that space.
Do you label them or you just keep the date of it and then you kind of know?
Well, it's quite funny because most of my voice notes happen in the car at the moment. So it's like M25, number one. Or when I'm missing my nan, it's like, yeah, down by the southeast coast. Like, so yeah. Do you know
your
what?
areas. You do it by areas.
But maybe. But then that always makes me
No,
reflect.
that's
of
a
like,
flight attendant thing because you're like on the
Yeah.
move traveling, so you're always
Yeah.
different
You
location.
definitely could label them. And when you feel strong enough to kind of maybe close that chapter, you could label it like discovery, you know, or the day that I broke down, you know, and all of those. Yeah.
And the day when it got better.
And a day when it got better.
The day when it all made sense, because it does.
Yeah.
Can I just say, throughout your entire journey, I feel like you haven't lost your spark.
No.
You were still like bright as a diamond at the reunion, and even when you were going through what looks like hell to any normal person, because what you went through was not normal.
Gosh. Yeah.
Having to go through your feelings and that trauma in front of an audience of people, and you still kept your shine. How did you do it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Like, at
Like,
all.
honestly,
no one
I have
normal
so
could.
much respect. I have so
I'm
much
getting
respect.
quite emotional.
Oh,
But,
I'm so sorry.
No, it's good. It's good.
gosh.
Yeah, that's so special that you said that to me, girlies. Oh gosh.
And I love that you didn't let anyone take down your spirit.
Wow. You know, I love stars. I'm wearing my star today. And I've got my star crystal in my bag because people have always said to me, there's just something about you that shines. Like, I love to add sparkle to people's lives. I don't know why or really what it is. I just have this power that I'm like, I just want to light people up. And I try and light myself up. And I think the reunion, when I watched that back, that was the first episode in the whole series where I did not smile. And so for you to say to me that I'm still shining when I wasn't smiling and wasn't kind of like being like, well, I was positive, I guess. I was positive, but you know, that energy was an energy shift, I say. That's really admirable for you to say, and I'm taken back by that. And thank you for like being really honest that you still saw that. There's worse people off than me in the world. There's people that have got it harder.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it like you should always be positive because it's okay to not be okay. But there is always like a little bit of like a fire trying to light inside me. I've always got a little spark because I realise that the world is a tough place to be in and there are people worse off than me. And I'm very lucky to be able to sit here today with you guys, to be able to breathe and to be able to communicate and be healthy and have a family and loved ones around me. And a divorce, is tough, but it's part of me now, right? And I'm proud of it. Like,
Divorce sister, right?
divorce sisters. It just adds another layer to my journey, to who I am. It makes it a bit more interesting when I meet
100%.
people. And I've just gained so much life experience from this experiment that has taught me, so much about who I am. And I invite that in. Like, I invite the bad in because I'm like, this must be a reason I'm meant to feel sad, or I'm meant to go for a divorce, or he's meant to break my heart. And I'm like, okay, don't get me wrong, it's hard at the start, but once you reflect and sit on it and process it, there's always a reason for something to happen in your life.
And the reason will show itself eventually. And when it does,
it will make sense and it will make you a stronger human being and a better person for it. And that's probably how I look at life, striving to take on the learnings and be better and help others.
honestly, like, you are meant to be where you are right now. I'm telling you, Ashleigh, like, even just being in this room with us, like, you were meant to find someone like us. You were meant to find someone like me being like, hey, this is how a no-fault divorce works. Like, this is the logistics. Like,
Yeah, I do believe that for
and, like,
everyone.
yeah. And honestly, as the days go by, like, you are gonna build the greatest community. You're gonna build, like, the people that are coming to you are gonna be so much better aligned to you. And if you're still looking for the one, like, that person's gonna be the best version of themselves for you, because you now have developed the best version of yourself.
Yeah, if I can just inspire others or help others be seen, whether that have a voice or just have a change of mindset around something that's really, you know, knocking them down, I'm all for that. I'm all for sparkling and bringing that energy and positivity to people's lives.
You definitely did. You can see that though in the show as well.
Thanks, guys. My heart feels really warm. You know, and we talked about kind of how do we feel, like my heart feels really open with you guys. And
Well, thank you so much for letting us
Yeah.
Okay, let's like lighten the mood up a bit. Let's play a game of this or that, Ashleigh Berry edition.
Love in the pods again, or love in real life?
Love in real life, because that's what I'm ready for now, you know. Yay! I've had my pod journey. It was what it was. It was amazing. But now let's embrace it in the real world. Put all that learning into place.
Also, you still have solo pod with the voice.
Oh, yeah. I've basically still got the pod in my garden on my phone. Yeah.
Eat the cake or stick to a meal plan?
Eat the cake. Can I have the whole cake?
Yes.
And the crumbs. Yeah,
Yes.
I love cake. You know me, girls.
Would you rather do a solo trip or a girls' night out post breakup?
Right now, I've done so much solo work, so I'm ready for a girls' night out.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm like, let's go, girls. Yeah, I'm just ready to let my hair down a little bit.
Okay, so just to end the episode,
Yes.
what is one piece of advice you'd like to give to our listeners going through a breakup?
Oh, okay. There's so much. I could write a book. We've talked a lot about kind of closure today. To all of those people out there that are kind of going through breakups, where I've been in your shoes, where I've expected closure to come from the other person and us to be able to like end it, and then you get closure from that. But that's not reality. Unfortunately, sometimes as hard as it is, accept it, respect it, and put your best foot forward. You can find it within, and I'm here for that. I'm here to help you.
This episode's gonna move a lot of people and their perspectives on what they think a closure is.
So I always thought, like, because he dumped me, I was like, what's wrong with Ashleigh? What did I do? Am I too much? Like, you kind of suddenly really go into yourself and find out what's wrong. But actually, like, if you reverse that mindset and think about all the right things that you gave in that relationship, they just weren't the right person. They weren't the right love.
Yeah.
Then you can move forward. We all want that pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. And I think sometimes
That pot of gold is you.
that pot of gold is you, and you've just got to realise that. And it's hard when we're going for a breakup, but I promise you, keep persevering at it and you will get there.